Good evening, folks. Phil Gallagher of ThrabenU here for another Legacy stream. Today's donation deck list is a spicy one, and it is brought to you by Connor Fulse, aka Lomer Boy. While he is most well known for Loam, obviously given that name, he plays a lot of spicy and fun decks. And this is Days Undoing Splinter Twin. Alright, what do we got going on? So combo 1 of the deck is Hullbreacher plus Days Undoing. You get 7 cards. You get 7 treasures. Your opponent gets no cards. Great deal, all in all. Combo number 2. Deceiver Exarch plus Splinter Twin. Creates infinite dudes, attacks, kills opponent. Great. Good stuff. So what else is supporting this deck list? Well, there is a Narset, so that you have an effective 5th Hullbreacher. There's Blood Moons, because, you know, that card's real good at punishing the greed that is Legacy. There's Chalice of the Void, and that means there's no 1-drops here to hold together our shell. And then we have a couple of 4-drop Planeswalkers as sort of curve toppers that we can accelerate out via Ancient Tomb and Chrome Mox. So this is kind of a wild deck list, and there's some hot tech here. Ash Barrens, for example, is a basic land cycling land. So if you end up Blood Mooning early, but you still need an island, this can be a way to cycle towards that. This is really interesting, and I've never seen this one in Legacy. We'll see how that plays out. I have some minor concerns with the mana base. So we're this Ancient Tomb deck that's also trying to cast, like, Izzet Charms, Dak Fadens, Jace the Mind Sculptors, and Chandra Torch of Defiance, right? As well as Splinter Twin. So there's this tension between things that cost, like, either 2 in a red or 2 in a blue, and all of the double spell things in the deck. I'm going to need to see how that feels in action. It's one of those things, like, mentally, I'm thinking about it now, and I want to know how it feels. But this is a super interesting Chalice deck, because we have the traditional Chalice Blood Moon starts that can just steal wins, but we also have these, like, Force of Wills to protect our stuff, and we also just have, like, a Hullbreacher Days Undoing combo for draw 7. And honestly, if we resolve a Chalice of the Void or Blood Moon, we can just cast a Days Undoing, because a bunch of our opponent's cards aren't actually going to do anything. So I really am conceptually interested in this deck list. I'm curious about how it's going to feel in practice. The sideboard, generally speaking, has Graveyard Hate, and the weapon of choice here is Fairy Macabre, to exile 2 cards at instant speed, which can be pretty strong, and it can't be countered, can't be stopped by Chancellor or the Annex, so there's some things to like here. And then we just have a bunch of generically good stuff. The one that you might not be familiar with is Nimble Obstructionist, which is cycling for 2 and a blue, and when you cycle it, you can counter target activated or triggered ability you don't control. So you can use that to grab something like a fetch land, or maybe even something spicier, like, say, a Planeswalker ability or something of that nature. It's really neat. I am really looking forward to playing with this deck. I think this is going to be a lot of fun. YouTube folks, if you would take 2 seconds here and click the like button, that would really help me out a lot. It supports my content in a way that costs you nothing and gives me a whole bunch more views and gets me injected into that sweet, sweet algorithm. Let's battle. All right, looking at this land count here, when I'm on the draw, how many remaining mana sources do I have? 23 mana sources. So just under half of the time, I will hit in 1 draw. And in 2 draws, I have a pretty good chance of hitting. My opponent has mulligan of 6, which could mean that they're a combo deck. This is the sort of hand, though, where if it gets a hole punched in it, and, like, I lose, say, Chalice of the Void, this hand probably does nothing. I think I'm going to take a safer hand here, rather than risk this one. Yeah. Oh, baby. Oh, baby, yes. Alright, so we have Hullbreacher Days Undoing combo in hand already. I'm going to keep this, and I don't see myself casting Izzet Charm anytime soon. I'm going to keep this as an endgame card and pitch the Izzet Charm. Now, admittedly, whatever we keep probably doesn't stick around because of, like, Days Undoing, because this gets rid of my hand, too. Alright, we were playing against Death Shadow Delver. Notably, Chalice of the Void is insane in this matchup. God, I am just a prophet. We would have gotten wrecked if we kept that first hand. We probably lose Hullbreacher here. Yep, as expected. I believe that I will just be fetching a basic island with Polluted Delta. Yeah. Just gonna do that now and play around Stifle. And again, to play around Stifle, let's just grab that mountain now. Opponent is down to 4 cards, so I maybe don't just want to like rattle off Days Undoing immediately. Days is probably going to be pretty good against what I have going on here. Are we getting Thought Seized again? Is this a Death Shadow? A Gurmag Angler? No, that's only 6. Hello and welcome. Whale? Could be Whale. Ethereal Forager is its name. I can maybe eventually answer that. But I didn't fetch Volcanic Island with this, so I can't just curve out into it on turn 3 and kill that. I'm try to tap that down for this turn cycle. Oh yeah, this deck looks like it's going to be a blast. Yes, one of these decks looks slightly more fun than the other. Hey, there's that Stifle I played around. Nice. Now, the Ethereal Forager here is basically a 3/3 that gives them back a Thoughtseize, right? Because they cycled Street Wraiths and a Polluted Delta here. So this cantrips once. This Wasteland's very good, though. Don't exactly know what I'm hoping for as far as draws go. I'm just mostly hoping that my opponent doesn't play a Death Shadow. Well, don't do it. Fuck. Yeah, that's 10 damage next turn. This Izzet Charm can loot. I'm taking 10. I don't have a main deck Ensnaring Bridge, right? I don't have a main deck Ensnaring Bridge. Next turn can really only be at 3 mana because I can't really afford to tap an Ancient Tomb because it doesn't answer 2 things. I think unfortunately this is probably where I throw in the towel. I'm gonna cast an Izzet Charm. And yeah, that stuff does not get me there for next turn. Alright, dead. See what we have on the sideboard. Ensnaring Bridge is cool. It's very good against Death Shadows. Ratchet Bomb, probably solid. Just, again, getting rid of Death Shadow. The red base removal is not exactly insane. I could end up playing something like this just because, like, my opponent goes so low in terms of life that it might make sense to just bring in something that goes directly to the dome. Izzet Charm here I think is weak. Narset here I think is a little weak. Flyers with evasion aren't bad. Like, I can just consider playing Brazen Borrower and Nimble Obstructionist just as things that attack. I don't think I'm super interested in Izzet Charm. That could give me 4 of these 5. And now the question is, like, do I actually want to play this 6-drop? I don't know that I do. I think Narset's pretty weak here. I think it's just going to get attacked and die and not be able to actually set up a Days Undoing turn. I'm going to try pulling that for this and see if I regret it. I could consider Force of Negation, but the things that I want to counter are really creatures, right? I'm scared of Death Shadow, and I'm scared of Death Shadow's bigger brother, Scourge of the Skyclave. This hand is borderline. It needs another land, but I have turn 1 Chalice on the play. And I don't think I get to throw that back. I think it's Jace, but it could be Deceiver Exarch. I'm going to put Deceiver Exarch under there because I can theoretically cast Jace next turn if I get a Soul Land. And there's a 4 in 53 chance of that happening, so it's not super, super likely. All right. Hello and good luck, opponent. I don't know how many outs my opponent is actually going to have in their deck right now to that. All right, we can stare at each other for a while. That's fine. Thank you, Synoptics. So the other nice thing here is that My opponent didn't have a Force of Will effect on turn 1 for the Chalice, which means they probably don't have it now. So things like Hullbreacher are somewhat likely to resolve. I do still have days to think about. But we'll have a Force of Will to protect our stuff for when the time comes. That'll at least help out a bit. Oh, and Wiskaya Jack, thank you very much for subscribing. I think I missed you a minute ago. I appreciate your support. Hope you're having a great night. So I'm going to assume that's them fueling their graveyard for something like a Gurmag Angler or a Whale in the future. Yeah, it's awesome when people can catch me live and just get to like chat a bit, shoot the bull, that sort of stuff. Feed in the whale, feed in the whale. I'm not even sure if I Force of Will it. Like, maybe I do, since my opponent is so unlikely to have very many other things that actually matter. I'm gonna fight. I think if I just keep the board clear, I can just resolve a 3/2 and attack my opponent to death. But I just as easily could let that go, since it's like a 3/3 with no real text. This is a lights out card in this matchup. We shall feed the whale again. XDRS Lump, thank you very much for following. Hope you're, or sorry, for subscribing. Hope you're enjoying the content, and thank you for throwing your Prime money this way this month. Emerged a brainstorm to feed a future whale. My opponent could try to stifle this. I think I'm just going to play a Hullbreacher in this turn cycle. I would like to play the Blood Moon around days. The Hullbreacher can also just be a bait spell. My opponent's lands aren't really doing them much good anyway right now. Here is my fish. Here is my pirate. It attacks for 3. um. Hmm. Jam now that they used 1 days? Ah. Play it patiently. I think my opponent is facing a little bit of moto lag. I feel like they're losing a lot of clock to nothing. Now I think I'll moon. I don't know. Hardcast Force of Negation is a thing. I don't know. Maybe I moon just because like I have Jace coming in the future. Like Dak Vaden is also legit with Hullbreacher in play. Let's fight. Oh, my opponent has blue Elemental Blast. Spicy. So my life total is currently high enough that the Scourge of the Skyclaves is not something that I really need to worry about. So that's cool. All right, and we pick up the concession. Alice, unsurprisingly, just very, very good here. I think on the draw, this is probably too ambitious, and I should fill that spot with just anything else. It could just be a Sulfur Elemental, as weird as that sounds, just to attack my opponent. It's just like another flash creature that can come in at end of turn. I think I'm going to go ahead and do that. Like, sometimes the plan is just, like, poke the Death Shadow deck about 3 times, and they will roll over and die. Oh yeah, this one is spicy. 3 peppers at least. Turn 3 goldfish. I'll be keeping this hand. This hand's gonna be real bad against Wasteland, though. That is a lot of life loss. Alright. I can best play around Stifle by fetching now. I can best play around Wasteland by playing Ancient Tomb first. I think I'll play Ancient Tomb first. Because it almost certainly gets a Wasteland, and then I have a second copy of it in the hole. I also can just play Fiery Islet on turn 2 and, like, get something into play. Blind Flip Delver is definitely scary, though. Ooh, to Thoughtseize as well. Not the best for me. Like, Delver plus Ancient Tomb is spooky. And I'm not representing anything like a Flusterstorm here, so my opponent can just, like, cast a Thoughtseize with impunity. Yeah. Opponent is definitely lagging here. JMB, thank you very much for following. Alright, so we best played around Wasteland by playing that Ancient Tomb out. Now opponent gets a Thoughtseize me, and they can take away my infinite combo. That's not the best for me. And if I lose the combo, that probably means that I just, like, fetch a basic island off Polluted Delta. Relon MTGO, thank you very much for the raid. Hello, everyone tuning in. I'm Phil Gallagher of ThrabenU, and we are playing Days Undoing Splinter Twin today. This is round 1. Alright, Brazen Borrower was taken. Let's play around Stifle. But a Wasteland sure will sting. I need to get the red here so that I can have red for a turn 3 Goldfish. Which I have with Theoretical Force of Will backup pitching Hullbreacher. Oh, I mean, the deck list is super spicy for sure. As spicy as a shuckle-eating curry. Picked the right shirt to wear today. F. I mean, the curry is spicy, and the curry goes inside the shuckle, and then the shuckle will make spicy, spicy juice. Alright, is this threatening enough that I need to counter it? It's a 2-2 right now. But, it'll get big. I think I can't let another point of pressure into play. If I can avoid it. Like, I am scared of just dying to this Delver before I get another land to execute this combo. Actually, can I theoretically do it? So I'm at 12, and then I get attacked. Shit. Then I get 2 turn clocked. I can theoretically tap something down with Deceiver Exarch, though. Hmm. Okay. Can I cast this? Should I cast this? So next turn, I guarantee take 6, going to 6. Then I play Deceiver X Sark, which takes me to 4 from my own lands. Oh no, I can't win, can I? So I take 6, go to 6. Take 3 from my own things, go to 3. Delver kills me, even if I tap down the Death Shadow. I guess technically I can draw Runner of untapped Volcanic Island, or something like that. But I can't tap this Ancient Tomb, or I have 0 outs. I played Shuckle on some competitive Pokemon teams. It either did everything or it did nothing, and there was absolutely no in between. Like, either Shuckle accidentally swept their entire team, or, like, Shuckle just got killed by something before it could set up. Alright, concede. We're not beating Wasteland number 3. It just, like, cannot happen. Okay, I have 2 lands here. I have Izzet Charm to cycle, and I, like, have a Hullbreacher that I can pitch to Force of Will while keeping the combo. I'm gonna go ahead and keep this. As I feel like the deck doesn't need 1 burst of mana, it needs consistent mana. Right? So, like, you need a 3 mana turn followed by a 4 mana turn if you want to just combo. Yeah, so, like, with Pokemon Sword Shield, like, I was really excited about that game. I got it relatively shortly after release, played through it, and by about 3/4 of the way through the game, I was like, I am ready to be done with this. I am going to just fetch double basic here. Preordain probably means combo deck, but on the off chance that this is just still some Stifle deck, I really don't want to be wrong here. Like, let's play around Stifle, let's play around Wasteland. And I can Izzet Charm a Show and Tell or something if I need to do that. I can Izzet Charm a Delver. Fine. How am I doing today? It depends. Does this Delver die? Regardless of the answer, I'm doing pretty well. I'm having a good day. I love that I'm playing a Stompy deck right now, and I'm holding up 3 different instant speed cards. 4 if you count the Force of Will. That's pretty nifty. I just gotta take that hit for 1, I think. There's a temptation to just Izzet Charm this here to try to draw counters out of my opponent. I think I just let this go. It's just awkward, because, like, the Izzet Charm is best at killing the Sprite Dragon right here. Didn't rip the land. I think I'm not gonna kill this Bright Dragon. Oh, maybe I will kill this Bright Dragon in response to that now. Now my opponent has to live in fear, so their ponders and such become a little bit worse. Like, they theoretically might need to hold up interaction versus Splinter Twin. But it's going to be slightly unclear how many Spell Pierce sorts of cards they're going to have in the main deck. A lot of people have been opting towards direct damage in their flex slots recently. Oh, is this a whale? I probably have to counter a whale. Yeah, I have to counter that. Hey, cards sure aren't castable. I really wish I had a Hullbreacher in play right now instead of a Deceiver Exarch, but I guess that just would have gotten bolted, so... C'est la vie. I could really use some treasure tokens from a Hullbreacher, that's for sure. I don't think my mana's good enough to play against Delver. Super worried about that. So my hope is that they just return Preordained to their hand this turn, and I get to ambush the whale before the lightning bolt is in their hand. And if that doesn't happen, I'm probably in bad shape. Fuck. I just make them use the lightning bolt this turn. I guess. That doesn't feel good. Like, I can hopefully resolve this. They'll lightning bolt it. I can maybe take a counter spell out of their hand and pave the way for a lucky Splinter Twin break. Nope. Alright. Yikes. That reacts only. Alright. Against blue-red Delver, my life total is under a little bit more pressure, and my red removal is a little bit better than last round. Pyroclasm and Kozilek's return, though, still not great. Because, like, Sprite Dragons are going to get out of that range pretty quickly. Alright, so what don't I like? I don't like Narset for the same reasons as last round. Blood Moon is definitely worse here than in the previous round. Like, my opponent's straight blue-red Delver, Blood Moon is not gonna do a ton. Like, the best thing the Blood Moon does is turns my Ancient Tomb into lands that don't hurt me after I've used them once or twice. So let's get Pyroclasm, this Ozilek's Return in there, and then just maybe Nimble Obstructionist just as a 3/1 flying creature that can trade with stuff. I probably need this Ensnaring Bridge in here too, maybe over Dak Faden. Let's maybe see how that feels. Um, so far my sideboard feels a touch awkward. Like, we've played against Delver decks that our removable suite isn't particularly strong against thus far. Oh god. Are we doing this? I Chrome Mox 2 of the 3 colored cards in my hand, and then either cast an Ensnaring Bridge or a Hullbreacher immediately. Oh gosh. This is a lot of card disadvantage. This is a Force of Will check hand. Or if my opponent has Force of Will or Force of Negation, I am screwed. And if they don't, this hand's pretty powerful. Right. I'm gonna keep the Planeswalker. Even though I can't cast it yet, I think it's just like the best thing I have in this hand to do after Ensnaring Bridge. Alright. I've used 6 of my 7 cards to attempt turn 1 Ensnaring Bridge. Is it good? Please? Please be good? Shit. Alright. Well, now we can rip a land, play a Planeswalker, get dazed, and then whack the concede button. Or... Or... Alright. That is quite strong. Now we have to beat the good old blind flip Delver. Yes. 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 I'm going to treat this more as something that probably gets a daze out of my opponent's hand than anything else. I'm happy if this resolves, and I'm also fine if it doesn't. It did resolve, and we have Splinter Twin? Oh, baby. We're playing this turn to just see if we can tap down the Delver. That saves us 3 life, and then our opponent lives in fear of Splinter Twin from here on out. I probably won't play the Splinter Twin immediately. My opponent is somewhat likely to have some counter spells in their grip. Oh, yeah, that's fantastic. We'd have 5 or 6 mana this turn. Could cast a Chalice on 2. I don't necessarily think that's good, though. I think I'm going to go for a Combat Step Vendilion Click. Maybe a draw step 1 now. Feels like they have a whale. Especially if they cast another spell. Yeah, this is switching to a draw step 1. My opponent is deterministically dead to Splinter Twin. I can leave all that stuff. Like, they can play Forager, I don't care. And then they die to Splinter Twin. Yep. Cool, cool. Alright, we get to do the thing at least once this league. I guess I didn't need to fetch, I already have red. That's whatever. And is there really not a faster way to do this? Also, like, please concede to your opponents when they have an infinite combo. Like, you're just wasting everyone's time that's involved. Like, I'm at 16 minutes on clock. I am not going to time out. Wastes my time. This wastes your time. This wastes everyone in chat's time. This wastes everyone on YouTube's time. Like, Like, you're deterministically dead to the combo, and I know it. Okay, I think that's enough, right? 10, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. That's plenty. Pull that one back. No, they can block. Alright, this hand is kind of mediocre. I am still going to keep it. Like, I have a Chalice of the Void and a Force of Will to protect it. That's fine. But I just feel like these games against Delver on the draw are kind of tough. I think my best draw would just be a Chromok, so I can attempt Chalice of the Void on turn 1. I think I will be Force of Willing a Delver or a Sprite Dragon here. I just, really need to make some land drops and buy time. So I think I first like Force of Will pitching Days Undoing, I think. Then I try to cast Chalice and have a second Force of Will to back it up. Oh, cool. Now I can just attempt a Chalice with 2 Force of Wills as backup. I think things shift a little bit, and all of a sudden, like, an Ancient Tomb becomes one of my best draws. What else you got? What else you got? Okay. You got stuff. That's fair. I only had double counterspell and you had triple counterspell. Hello and welcome. I don't know which one of these lands to play before casting Days Undoing. My opponent has no pressure yet, which makes Ancient Tomb solid, but I almost certainly give my opponent a clock. And then the Ancient Tomb's worse than Fiery Islet. I wish I had any other card to play this turn other than Days Undoing. But I don't. This hand's not really good. I hit no lands, which means if I put my opponent into a wasteland, they wasteland my tomb. And then my chalice is in range of things like Days. Okay, dodged the first bullet. But I really, really need to hit a land drop here. I need to be able to play Chalice plus something else in the same turn cycle here. I'm also not sure about my opponent's sequencing. Like, they could have maybe... Okay, this is good. Alright. We'll start on Chalice. Alright, they have pitched a Daze, which may mean that they just have another Daze. That's fine. Now I'll play a Hullbreacher in response to a cantrip that they play or something. It'll get dazed, and then maybe I can resolve this and pick off whatever threat they play. Definitely feeling the Ancient Tomb. Having Ancient Tomb plus Fetch Land side by side is rough. Goodbye, Ancient Tomb, question mark? Targeting Volcanic Island. Alright. Ziggy, thank you very much for the raid. Hello, everyone who's just tuning in. Phil Gallagher of ThrabenU here. We are currently playing against Blue-Red Delver, and we are playing Splinter Twin. Specifically, Days Undoing Splinter Twin. I think we're about to lose to Delver. Can't cast this to kill that because I don't have the right colors of mana. I can tap this down this turn cycle, then try to answer it next turn cycle. Just need to keep those cards from hitting their hand. I don't know that I can beat more counterspells here. I don't feel good about my position. Like, I can't tap this Ancient Tomb very many more times. Yikes. I guess I'm looking for land drops. This is just feel bad. I guess alternatively, I can just go for the Hullbreacher Days Undoing, but my opponent is probably putting Force of Negation into their hand, which means that this isn't likely to resolve. Ugh. I need something that makes this hand better. Like a Mox, a land drop. Force of Will is not the end of the world. Uh, this Force of Negation that my opponent has access to means that this Splinter Twin isn't likely to resolve, and my Ancient Tomb really is not on for much longer. Yet. Alright, now my opponent puts Force of Negation in their hand. Next turn, so they hit me for 3, then they hit me for 6. So the way I win is they don't put Force of Negation into their hand, and I Splinter Twin combo off. Otherwise, I probably have no outs, or very close to no outs. I guess technically I could draw another Ancient Tomb, and Hullbreacher, Days Undoing, into hitting Is It Charm? No. I'd have to hit, like, Is It Charm and something to deal with the Forager, like another Exarch. Well, actually, if they don't hit a land drop now, they can't just cast Brazen Borrower. That's Force of Negation. And I can't draw, like, both Force of Will and Red Land in this turn cycle. Thus far, it feels like my mana base is pretty shaky versus Delver, and the Delver matchup more generally seems rough. Ethereal Forager looking real good on stream tonight, though. That's for sure. Take 2 to play that. That can trade with Ethereal Forager, maybe. My opponent doesn't have a Bolt. I I think we're gonna have a bad time tonight versus Wasteland X, based on these first 2 rounds. Like, I just have so much to do with my mana, and anytime I lose a land, it's just devastating. This also just knocks me to 4, which means an Ancient Tomb activation plus Brazen Borrower just kills me, and I know my opponent has Force of Negation and Daze. We're pretty much done here. I'll concede as soon as this gets countered. Oh, it didn't get countered. We're just getting bolted. Oh no. Cool. My opponent has a lightning bolt. They can also just wait for me to tap Ancient Tomb and then fire it off. If I tap Ancient Tomb this turn, I die. And I know they have Force of Negation. The Splinter Twin and Chandra don't really work. How do I play this most effectively? Probably banning Splinter Twin and trying to kill this next turn. Somehow. Let's try to get the Force of Negation out of their hand with this. An issue, though, is that I know they also have a Daze. And I can't tap Ancient Tomb next turn. So, like, everything's bad. Just absolutely everything. We'll see if we can get out of this. They didn't counter the Chalice, which means they can counter my Chandra. I can't tap Ancient Tomb next turn, which means I can't do Hullbreacher plus Days Undoing in one turn cycle. That also just kills me. GG's. Unstable mana here, really biting us in the butt. First hand has 1 mana. That's no good. I need much more than that. This is not a good hand. Yeah. I played the green-red stacks, and like the deck lost to its mana base more or less 5 rounds in a row. I don't remember exactly how it went, but it was rough. We played another stack a day or two later that things went a little bit better with because it wasn't quite as greedy. Things weren't great. I am reliant on the top of my deck here to do something with this hand, but I think I'm supposed to just keep something that has 3 lands. Aiga Go could be lands. Be a crop rotation deck, could be an Orcish Lumberjack deck. Could be a Delver deck with a 1 of Taiga. Saw one of those on Twitter today. Someone was claiming Taiga was good. I don't remember who it was. Alright. And got way better. I don't know what exactly I'm supposed to make of my opponent's start, but regardless, I'm tapping down one of their lands. Probably their blue source. DJ Isma has some... Oh. Sure. So this is a Storm deck, and now I'm not going to be able to Force a Will things this turn. Please don't kill me. Oh no. Oh no. I don't get to counter any of this stuff. Like, whatever happens, happens here. Alright. This just goblins? No, they're gonna go for an actual kill. They should be able to find an initial mana source. Yeah, they did. Alright, believe I am very dead here. Yeah, a handful of DJ Isma's lists have ended up on this stream in one form or another. He's got some spicy brews, usually of the red prison-ish persuasion, but they're usually non-traditional. Kill me! Kill me! I want to die! Okay, that's the kill. I'm just gonna go ahead and concede to that before they randomly thought seize me or something. All right. What do we have for TES? Yes. 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 Probably not with the fairies. I guess. I guess. Like, there's a real question of like how much do we want to play around goblins? I think the answer is a decent amount. Um, we're not super good at actually bringing in things that help disrupt the combo, but hopefully between Chalice and Force, that's not that big of a deal. I guess we also have Is It Charm as a counterspell, technically. I don't think I want the Splinter Twin package. I think I just want to kill my opponent by attacking with, like, Hullbreachers or something. So, where do we get if we board out Splinter Twins and Deceiver Exarchs? Allows me to bring in 6 cards. That can be these, plus maybe Nimble Obstructionist just as another clock. I don't hate it. Alright, I had to record this. So my opponent said, quote, "For some reason, Twin Stompy, or at least what I think is Twin Stompy, is not in Bryant Cook's sideboard guide, lol." End quote. Agreed. Good luck trying to figure, like, how to sideboard against this opponent. You have only begun to see the shenanigans that I have to offer. Okay, we're currently on a Moldus 6, and sorry if YouTube folks, you lost audio for a minute. I caught myself pretty quickly. I think I got most of it out of there. Um, this hand is awkward. It's fine, but it's not good. I'm gonna mulligan and look for a Chalice hand. This is the best of the hands so far. We will be keeping this one. I will get rid of Kozilek's Return, and I think Jace. We're just playing this one on 0 for the artifact mana this game. We are up against TES. This is round 3. We lost the first 2 to Delver. Mana base is just a little bit unstable. We feel a little clunky. It's okay. Like, this is reinforcing a general theory that I have, that the multicolored Ancient Tomb decks are just inconsistent. Like, when they get to do their thing, they can be really powerful, but they trip over themselves a decent amount. I'm just gonna grab a Volk here. I can still pollute a Delta for a basic island if I end up picking up a Blood Moon off a Narset or something. Alright. Choice was easy. Now, notably, just in case this is something that happens, Veil of Summer can stop my opponent's spells from being countered, right? So Chalice of the Void is not necessarily the be-all, end-all here. That's a good draw. Yeah. Go for Jace. One counterspell enough. Let's hope one counterspell is enough. Like, let's tap out for Jace. Not sure which way I'm supposed to go with this Jace, but I'm gonna just brainstorm. Doctor. Glad you're enjoying the content. There's some spicy ones coming to the old YouTube this week. I hope you enjoy them. My opponent has hit fetch to thin territory. I think I kind of want to leave Kozilek's Return floating on top of my library. I think I'm just gonna fetch now. I'm just gonna assume that if I keep drawing cards forever, I'll win somehow. Like that? Probably like that. Okay. Strong. Absolutely. Mulligan. This is turn 2 Blood Moon, hypothetically. Although I might just throw back Chrome Mox here. I don't know about this hand. Like, is this a winner? I guess it has 2 counter spells. I'm gonna keep this and pitch the Chrome Mox, assuming that the card disadvantage is bad. Dobby, I recorded a Modern video earlier today. I'll play Modern when people donate for it. I am a Legacy specialist, but I dabble elsewhere. Like, I've done a little Draft recently, done a good amount of Vintage recently. Fuck. Gotta counter that. Carpet of Flowers is one of the best sideboard cards in the format. Like, I can't let that thing stick around, especially if my plan to win is Blood Moon them. I feel very good about bottoming the Mox now that I had to force a negation on turn 1. Oh god, just pass. Just pass and let me Ratchet Bomb that LED. And that Mox Opal. God, I need it. Let me have it. Fuck yeah! Yes! Alright, Volcanic Island? Just a regular island, I think. I am more or less of the opinion that you have the chance to stop Carpet of Flowers, you stop Carpet of Flowers. I don't know if you really want to try to get cute with a Carpet of Flowers. We have officially gotten the oh no in chat from the opponent. My deck has cards in it. Do I have a third? No, I can't get a third island this turn. And I am fine with this just being a mountain. Now my opponent, like, doesn't get to cantrip, like, if they just find something like an Underground Sea. And we can loot this polluted delta away into something that, like, maybe can clock my opponent. Alright, we have gotten the GGs from the opponent here, and we take this one down, and we're on the scoreboard. Alright, we're mulliganing a hand here due to unstable mana. This hand I'll keep, and I believe I will just pitch one of the 3 Scalding Tarns here. Possible I'm supposed to fetch just a basic island on turn 1 to play around Stifle. But that might just be me being a coward after getting stifled a lot this week. Alright. Plains and Bayou and Once Upon a Time. We could be playing against a splash version of Maverick. Could be just playing against some sort of Elvish Reclaimer deck as well. Regardless, like, this is my play, right? So, like, this hand plays itself. It's Chalice on 1 this turn, Mountain, Hullbreacher next turn, Days Undoing the following turn. That's just what I do. That's fine. Playing around Stifle and I don't need to, because I'm scared. So the good news is that this is Maverick. Swords to Plowshares is the thing that I'm most worried about interrupting my combo. Yeah, that's fine. A combo. Land would be great. Chromox would be great. Alright, well, we'll just do the thing. Hello, cards. I have multiple Is It charms here, which is cool. Whoops. That's the old shame concession. Alright, what do we have for Maverick? Now here, the various things for small creatures are going to be good. Pyroclasm, Chandra, Kozilek's Return. Sulfur Elemental is okay if my opponent has Mom, and otherwise kind of eh. I might not play that one. Play Is It Staticaster, I'll play Ensnaring Bridge. Ratchet Bomb, Brazen Borrower, and to a lesser extent, Nimble Obstructionist are things that I should be thinking about. I don't think I want Narset. It, 'Narset, 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 'Narset Opponent seems to have a lot of basics. I'm not sure how good Blood Moon is going to be, but they also seem to be a 3-color deck, so I probably don't board those out. It also just helps to stabilize my mana versus Wasteland. Like, that's a very real thing. Do I want to go Splinter Twin package out? If so, I'm actually kind of light on ways to just legit kill my opponent. Like, the Planeswalkers can do great work, but that'd basically be leaving me with Hullbreacher and a couple of flyers to actually do the finishing blow. Maybe that's fine. Okay, what does it look like if I cut the Splinter Twin package? Actually, I could just cut the Chalice of the Voids. But the Chalice of the Voids protect my idiots. Alright, let's not... Alright, let's not play Chalice on the draw. And then I can board in these 5 cards, and then on the play, I can maybe play Chalice. I'm not 100% sure about this plan. This is an unexciting hand. I'm going to keep it. Like, I have a 1-of in my hand, and it's a 1-of that's important to my deck. What do you got? Mom. That's fine, I will Is It Charm that. Now we'll go with a nice basic land cycling here. Grab a mountain. And then I don't have to expose Volcanic Island to Wasteland in this turn cycle. Oh, no. No, no. No, 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 no. Bridge? I'll play Hullbreacher first. Like, leaving the bridge at hand is just awkward if they thought sees me. That's the thing. If that's gonna get out of Is It Charm range, unfortunately. Save it. I'll save it. Because Days Undoing specifically is quite good. Him. Him. I am not going to play my land this turn, I don't think. The only way that's... Well... Maybe I want to play Ensnaring Bridge before Days Undoing. Yeah, maybe it doesn't matter. I'm not going to play my land this turn. It's a little awkward if I draw a land next turn, in that, like, I lose value, but this way, like... maybe the Wasteland just gets it later. What the hell is this? I've never seen this card before. All right. Fuck. That Shriekmaw is so good right now. Like, it puts 2 creatures into the graveyard, so the ooze is just huge. Alright, now I'll just drop this Volcanic Island, I guess. It's turtle time. My opponent is Hellbent. Awkwardly, casting the Day's Undoing right now is not a particularly good prospect. Like, it's incredibly awkward for me to do that. And, like, turn off my Ensnaring Bridge. So I think I'm just going to be chilling for a little while. Find a Dryad Arbor. Find a Dryad Arbor. Oh, baby. Oh, baby, yes. This game is great. This one is primo entertainment value for sure. All right, we're always yielding those ooze. You can eat my stuff. Buckle up, folks. We're in for a nice, smooth ride. Notably, my opponent is not eating their Shriekmaw, which kind of makes me curious if they have like a Volrath Stronghold as a one of in their deck or something. What basics do I have? 2 more. I'm gonna fetch them out of laziness. Well, I didn't subject myself to this. Connor Lomer Boy subjected me to this. Blame him. This game is sweet as hell, though. Like, there's a hidden Gibbons hanging out. I mean, obviously, I'm not sorry either. I'm having a lot of fun. All I need to do is, like, rip a Planeswalker, or I think I'd be satisfied ripping a Hullbreacher, too. Like, I would Hullbreacher Days Undoing in a heartbeat. Oh, yeah. Excuse me. Excuse me. Wasn't expecting that, you know? Just wasn't expecting it. Um, Brainstorm is a strong magic card. Also, Hidden Gibbons is still not a creature. It's turn 11. We have played around Hidden Gibbons pretty well. The weird thing here for my opponent is like they're gonna be looking for an abrupt decay to answer this bridge, and then they're not gonna have an answer to a lot of the other things that I have going on here. An evoked Shriekmaw. That is Shriekmaw number 2 in this list. All right. Do you have Swords to Plowshares? Oh, that's okay. Like, I still have active Jace. We'll find something to do. Not this stuff, though. We're still not playing around Abrupt Decay. Or Gibbons. Okay. That's fine. Deck list is just wild. Do I counter that? No? Did I bring in Sulfur Elemental? I didn't bring in Sulfur Elemental. I have Pyroclasm, I have Kozilek's Return. Maybe I should just counter this. Yeah, like those things can't attack anyway. So like I'm not worried about turning them into creatures. Alright. Here we go. Find a noble hierarch. My counter spells are considerably worse now. Oh god, what is this? That's a Rex Age. I think I'm dead to that. I know I'm dead. Yeah, so that's 12 incoming damage. I mean, we made it to turn 13. That was a crazy game. Alright, now that I know that my opponent has Thalia, probably want Sulfur Elemental. I also like Chalice of the Void is considerably better on the play, especially now that I know my opponent is on Hidden Gibbons. Alright. So I think for this game, I am not going to play the Deceiver Exarch package. So that gives me these 5 cards, and then I'll just like play a Brazen Borrower as another finisher, I think. I also think I'm going to go down 1 Days Undoing to just play one more finisher to just make sure that I can close out the game once I have locked up the board. This hand is really awkward. I'm not going to keep this. Turn 1 Blood Moon. Okay. What don't I want? So Is It Charm goes under Chrome Mox. I want the Island. I want the Blood Moon. The Force of Will? It's probably the Force of Will. Yeah, I don't really have something to pitch to it. Let's see if my opponent just goes like Forest, Bird, go. Like my hand could do everything or my hand could do nothing. Oh, Once Upon a Time is a great card for my opponent here. Oh, they found Windswept Heath. We're doing work. And now I have a win condition. Very nice. I don't think I'll be casting this Days Undoing. It, like, draws my opponent into basics too much of the time. Oh, yeah, especially now. Battle, 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 battle. Slightly awkward, but still a draw that I'm happy to have. That one's a draw that I'm not particularly happy to have, but it's fine. If I hit one more land, I can hard cast this Force of Will and not have to pitch cast it. Alright. Now I just have lethal next turn with Hullbreacher and Sulfur Elemental attacking in. Or just Sulfur Elemental on its own attacking in. Alright, and Saito-san has conceded. GG's, friend. GG's. Alright, final round here. We're going to see if we can get our play points back and a shiny treasure chest. We're keeping a hand that is awkward in many ways. In that, like, we have half of 2 different combos, but we can make a turn 1 Chalice of the Void, which usually means that the hand is worth keeping. This is just like Death and Taxes, though. This Chalice on 1 perhaps is not actually going to do that much. Yeah, Lord Darkview. To be fair, though, our take was Delver's still good. So, like, it's not exactly a controversial one where I'm looking for support. Ooh, the big Eldrazi deck, in which case our Chalice of the Void isn't good. And D5 AM, very happy to hear that. Congrats to you. Or, well, like, more of a you all thing, all of you. I don't think I needed another Chalice. I don't think my current hand beats my opponent. I'm going to cast Days Undoing. Yeah. Back in my day, when I was a youngin', I too cared about the environment. I mean, I obviously still care about the environment. Like my little Amazon smile thing, where I get to support a charity, is for the what is it, the Nature Conservatory, or what the whatever the environmentally minded one is. And I did like the environmental club at high school, where like we did recycling and stuff. All right, you get the thought nuts here and look at my hand. You get to see what's up. Yeah, Tilcore, it dropped a little later than normal. I think it came out like Friday night instead of Friday morning or afternoon. Yeah, GG Saito-san. Chat loved your deck. The Hidden Gibbons was awesome tech, and the Shriek Maws were very good as well. Oh, wow. That's a wee bit brutal. So now I can't Chrome Box to fix my colors. Oh, oh no. I can't Chrome Box to fix my colors, and I can't actually cast any of my spells after casting a draw 7. Oh gosh. Alright, opponent gets game 1. And now we know that we should probably mulligan to a Blood Moon hand or a fast-ish combo hand if possible. Like, we're just legit dead to this next turn. Yeah, I can't cast any spells here. Alright. So, what do I have for ye old big Eldrazi deck? This actually might be a time where I work backwards. Like, I am not going to want my Chalice of the Voids, I know that for sure. Jack Faden is actually probably pretty good here. Flyers are gonna be okay. The sweepers are gonna be in a weird position where they eat some of the smaller stuff like Matter Reshapers, but they don't eat a lot of the bigger stuff. So, like, I know I want Ensnaring Bridge. I know I want this big dumb thing as another finisher. I think I want these. And then, like, the stuff over here are maybes. I have 4 maybes. I think I want to keep my combo kill. I think I need to keep all of the Days Undoing, Hullbreacher, or Narset package to try to cheese some wins. I'm gonna try like this. It looks like my opponent is kind of a creature-focused build. See how this is. That's a Blood Moon, but I don't have the mana to cast it. And I'd like to do it on turn 1 or 2 if possible. I'm gonna mulligan this hand. Oh no. The mana in this hand is really bad. I am gonna go to 5. Uh... 5. No, we can't make turn 1 Blood Moon on 5, right? Because, like, Island Chromox plus card is already 5 cards. So we don't have turn 1 Blood Moon. We have turn 2 Blood Moon. I'm gonna not play Chromebox, and I might get bit in the butt by Chalice on 0. But if I can... Oh, that's very good against Blood Moon. If there was a world where I could end up, like, saving the Jace, I probably wanted to play towards that world. Oath of Ghouls. That's a name I haven't heard in a long time. Oh no. I can't stress enough how lucky that draw just was. Oh my god. The luck. Although Karn just minuses and gets Sorceress Spyglass, right? Like, so that doesn't actually matter. But running hot. Oh wait, Sorcerer's Spyglass doesn't actually do anything. You're right. I'm used to, like, caring about the activated abilities of my Planeswalkers, but I care about the static ability instead. Alright, let's rip any land. I mean, yeah. We'll save the Narset loyalty for later. Oh, these are cards too. I'll probably just, like, Dack and take the Liquid Metal Coating. And then I can Splinter Twin over 2 turns. I just have Force of Will for the coding, so I'm not just dead to coding. Or sorry, the Lattice, so I'm not just dead to Grim Monolith untap Lattice. Let's take a turn to do this, like disrupt what my opponent has going on. Although I guess technically I probably should have minus Narset before making this decision. Yeah, that wouldn't have changed anything. I've already played a land. Also, I am just saying that I currently have Dak Faden Liquimetal coding if we can deal with Karn. Just saying the thing that I currently control. I also have like Dak Faden plus on my opponent to get rid of the cards that are in their hand. Yeah, we might have reached the point of the game where I might actually be legitimately favored to win. Well, the issue is that I can't activate this right now. Because of their Karn. Oh no, there's a lot going on here, no worries. My opponent just grabbed a Sky Sovereign. They'd have to tap Grim Monolith in order to do that. But I counter Sky Sovereign? I only have one Force of Will right now. Weird. Like, if they use the Grim Monolith, then I'm less scared of a lot of things happening. I could also just, like, legit let Sky Sovereign resolve. Although, then Karn pluses on it, and that's super awkward. Like, it pluses on it, and then it attacks, and it gets its trigger. My turn involves Dak plussing on my opponent to get rid of whatever cards are left in their hand. Yeah, I would probably Force a Will the Sky Sovereign. Pitching Is It Charm. And then I can play either Deceiver Exarch or Nimble Obstructionist on their next turn. Skull Clamp, thank you very much for your support. Hope you're enjoying this. This is a weird one. My opponent's very unsure of what they're supposed to be doing here. And I don't blame them because, like, this is a board state very unlike anything I've ever seen. Who won the Mox? Oh, okay, my opponent has disconnected. But it says they joined the game at 8:18. I don't know exactly what's going on here. All right, sorry, YouTube folks. I'm going to pause this for you for a while. Okay, YouTube, here's what's happened. My opponent hopped into my chat to let me know that they were losing power. Their power was flickering in and out because of a windstorm. So we ended up winning by default in that final round. I showed them my hand, and I think it was pretty clear that I had things locked up at that point. But, nothing's ever guaranteed in Magic. So ultimately, where do we come down on this deck list? I think this deck list has a lot of the same problems that the red-green stacks deck list that I played maybe back in December had, where it's trying to be both an Ancient Tomb deck and a two-color deck, and that puts a lot of strain on the mana base. Additionally, I don't know that this deck can easily support both blue-blue and red-red while also trying to do the Chalice stuff. And like sometimes I'll trip over my own cards due to like Blood Moon taking me off of colors for Narset, or maybe even sometimes taking me off of blue, period. The Splinter Twin package seems kind of weird if the twin is only going to be a 2 of. I don't really have too much manipulation to dig specifically for one card that I need. So I feel like if the twin combo is going to be part of the deck, it needs to be a 4 of so that I can find it. But at the same time, it's also red-red and a little hard to cast. Maybe that means something other than the Exarchs should be in there, and this should be just like a Chalice Flash deck. Play some Nimble Obstructionists in the main or something like that. I'm not sure. I don't think I would play a league with this list again for my own pleasure, but if someone donated for it again, I'd be like, yeah, I would battle with this again. Sideboard feels a little bit weird in that I have a variety of tools, but I never quite felt like my tools were perfect. Like, we got there. We ended up with the 3-2. I end up with my play points back and more. But specifically, when you're playing red removal, it becomes harder to answer things like Tarmogoyf and, I don't know, Hidden Gibbons that are, a 4/4 or larger because they get out of, like, the hypothetical lightning bolt range. Or for this deck, it often ends up being 2 because, like, our Kozilek's Return, our Pyroclasms, and our Izzet Charms all hit for 2 damage. So ultimately, I think we end up being just a little bit too clunky. But this was a really cool concept, and thank you to Connor for donating to make this happen. All right, YouTube folks, if you made it this far, please throw me a like on the video, maybe a comment if you're really enjoying it. That sort of thing helps me out more than you know. Have a great rest of the night or day, whatever time it is for you. YouTube folks can watch anytime, and that's the glory of YouTube.